Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Talking with Ty. It's been a while, guys. This is episode 6 of season 3. It's been a while since I've been to you guys. It is luckily that I got to 6 episodes this year. So, just a little bit about me and what's been going on with me before we get started, guys. If this is your first time tuning in to Talking with Ty, thank you so much for joining us. This is an unscripted podcast that tells the story behind the brand. I believe in leading with influence. And so maybe I think probably about 2 years ago, really just engulfing myself in the NAA space in the multifamily industry. There were so many people that I would see, and somebody would say, "Oh my God, that's Alex Jacques. She's amazing." Or that's Don Bruner, or that's Alan King. And these people were larger than life to me. And I'm like, okay, but besides these people just being amazing for what they do at work, like, who is this person? And I got really intrigued and I thought about it. It's the story behind the brand that really connects us. Our jobs, guys, these are just the titles that we hold, these are just the things that we do. But how we impact people and how we use that leadership to influence the next generation is really what matters. So I thought about it and I created Talking with Ty. So I bring people on here, and these are people that, yes, do I know them? I know them in the sense of just seeing them at Apartmentalize or Assembly of Delegates, and I see them throughout the nation. And you guys know we do put the family in multifamily. Like, we are really family in this industry because you work with each other for so long. So when I'm intrigued by somebody, I invite them to be a guest on my podcast. And these are some brave souls because I do not give them any questions. We do not talk prior to, because I really want to get that organic story behind the brand. So I just bring them on and we have the conversation. So today I have an amazing guest that we're going to talk about. But before I get to him, I do have 3 people on this screen because I wanted you guys to know that my next 3 podcasts are booked. So please put it in your calendar. Next up, we're going to have Matt Locke. He is the CEO of Bright Step, which is Affinity Waste Solutions in Greenway. That's where I have been ducked off at, is with Affinity Way out here selling trash, but we will get to that on another day when we're podcasting about me. I also have the privilege of podcasting Adam Baird. Adam is the founder and CEO of the BAM Company. Back in October, I was fortunate enough to be re-invited to be the keynote speaker at BAMCon 2025, where I talked about my keynote message of leading from the middle. And it really is about why leadership doesn't require a title. And that's why I have lead with influence. So today, though, who are we talking to? We are talking to my friend. If you know me, you know that I really am territorial, and this man is my friend. You would think I live in California with him all the time. Jay Lopeman. So I could have read his bio, but Jay's been around for a long time. I mean, when I read up on him, it said 30 plus years. I don't know how when he looks about 35. So, but he's been around for a long time, so I don't have to read his bio. But what I did want to read was something that I read about Jay. It says, Jay's extensive career continues to be defined by his efforts to support industry supplier partners and mentor the next generation of rental housing leaders, said NAA President and CEO Bob Penninger. Throughout his decade of volunteer service across the association, Jay has been consistently recognized by his peers for always lending a helping hand and leading with excellence at the forefront. NAA is thankful for Jay's dedication and passion for the industry and congratulates him on this well-earned honor. Wherever you are sitting at in the nation, whatever city, state, office, home office, remote, wherever you are, stand to your feet, stand on your desk, hit the ceiling, hit the wall. Give an amazing round of applause for my friend, the 2025 Lifetime Achievement Award in the Supplier category recipient, Jay Lopeman.
Hey,
Hello, Jay.
how are you?
I am doing so amazing. Welcome to Talking with Ty podcast. I have been trying to get you on here forever and a day, and we finally made it happen. And first and foremost, I just want to say thank you because I know I had a short notice with some things happening with Adam from BAM, and you stepped right in for me. I mean, being the Lifetime Achievement Award recipient, I see why. I see why you win. You step right in when people need you.
Well, thank you. And I'm just glad that it was 2 seasons and 5 episodes before I got the chance to be here. I mean, I guess I was the one that was slacking because I didn't get the opportunity to be in season 1 or season 2. So season 3, it is episode 6. Let's go.
I mean, now that you're a Lifetime Achievement Award, your stock done went up. I'm just saying. So
okay, fair enough.
So before we get into the question that I like to ask, which is who is Jay, let's just reflect on last week with Assembly of Delegates just being last week, you just being on stage. Let's talk about it. How do you feel?
It's surreal. I mean, it really is. I'm humbled. I'm honored by being recognized as the NAA Lifetime Achievement Award in the Supplier Member category for 2025. I think, as I reflect, it really, it's not only just a personal honor, but it reflects the people, the teams, the organizations that I've worked with over the years that have helped me, that have supported me, that have mentored me. You talk about in the intro about mentorship. It's really important to me because if somebody didn't take the time to do that for me, I wouldn't be sitting here with you today. So it's something that I'm very passionate about because I want to make sure that we do pull forward the industry's leaders for the next generation. And the opportunity to stand in front of my peers and say some comments of gratitude about accepting this award was really special.
I love that for you. Mentorship is something huge in our industry. I know it's something that being on the Next Gen committee and working with my friends like Ashia and Dana and Monica and Crystal Dukes, because I know Crystal pulled you aside to be a mentor for Eddie recently.
Yeah.
Giving back, the Lifetime Achievement Award, it seems like that's what it's wrapped around. And when I was doing some research on you and I just looked back over a span of your career, the awards have been like mounting up for years. Even when you were back with a head full of hair at BG Staff, and I was like, look at young Jay.
Yep.
So that's amazing. How did you even get started before we even get to the volunteerism? How did you get started in the multifamily industry?
So talking about dating me and putting me in the Wayback Machine, I answered an ad in the classifieds out of the newspaper for a small little company in San Diego called Maintenance Warehouse. Okay. That they were looking for an account manager role. And so I answered the ad. I went in, I did the interviews, all that stuff. And I started my career with Maintenance Warehouse, which soon after I started, got purchased by the Home Depot, and then, kind of catapulted me through my career in the multifamily industry. I say it a lot to people when I teach supplier success or when I'm mentoring somebody. I didn't grow up saying, I can't wait to be in property management. I kind of fell into it, and thankfully I did, because it's been an amazing career. But to mentor and to bring that awareness to what we do, how we do it. I mean, we house people. It is an absolutely amazing thing that our industry does. How do you pull people into that? How do you bring that awareness? And I was lucky enough, just by falling into it, that I found my way into multifamily. But the next step beyond that was the volunteer aspect, getting involved, understanding that. And I had to be proactive in asking for that opportunity and for inserting myself, which I hope everybody does. But at the same time, nobody wants to be that person on the outside that is not familiar with the industry or doesn't feel comfortable in events or whatnot. So I always found it important for myself to help pull those people forward, to help get them involved in things, because that's what somebody did for me, and it has proven to be extremely beneficial.
I love that, the paying it forward aspect. I think a lot of our journeys are similar in this industry. I got in it the same way you did. I didn't grow up saying, I'm going to work in property management. I'm going to manage apartments in the multifamily industry. And I love RPM careers because that's some of the things that we talk about is how to bring awareness so it can be an on purpose career.
Absolutely.
Because a lot of us, like I'm like you, I'm fortunate, I'm blessed that I did land in this industry because it's a purpose driven industry and it's for the servant leader. And it takes a special person like you and I and the other people in our industry that we call friends to do this job. And it's something that, like, I feel like it's God's work. I mean, we're providing shelter. We're providing things that go with shelter. You working with Inner Solutions, providing jobs for somebody. Like, how can you not want to do this work?
For sure, for sure. And that's kind of the unsung or unseen reward, right? Whether it's being able to provide housing to somebody that's in need, or for me, being able to find somebody employment so they can take care of their family, they can put a roof over their head, they can rent that apartment, they can be part of this amazing industry. That is a reward that is untangible, but worth every bit of the hard work and effort that we put into it.
Yes, I love the fact that you said when it came to volunteerism, you put yourself out there. You asked, you told somebody that you wanted to be a part of it. So what would you say to somebody that's listening out there right now that says, like, I want to be on the committee or I want to serve, but I don't know where to get started, Jay?
Yeah, that's the toughest thing, is to take that first step, right? Is to put yourself out there. And there's a comment, get comfortable doing the uncomfortable and it will become comfortable. I think it's putting yourself out there. There is always a seat at the table. Local affiliates, state affiliates, the NAA level, there's always a seat at the table. Whether you are formally a committee member or not, there is always a space for people to be there. And I just encourage anybody to take that first step. Go out and sit in a committee meeting. Or if you're lucky enough that you can raise your hand and say, I want to volunteer to be on a committee. And that's the first step. But really, the most impact that can be had is by being there, being present, being involved, and participating. I've seen a lot of people say, I want to get involved, and they show up and they sit there and they don't participate. And then after a couple meetings, they're gone. So I think being there, participating, being engaged, being consistent is tremendously important. The other thing on the flip side, I think, for any leaders out there, if you have new people coming in, is to make sure you're engaging those people. If you see a new committee member or a new association member in a meeting, ask them their thoughts. What do you think? Do you have experience in this? That will pull them forward. That will draw them in and give them a sense of comfort. And that's really what my experience was. Sure, you kind of walk into those things like, where do I fit in? How can I contribute? Am I going to say something that is, out of whack or whatever? But there's always a safe space in there to contribute. It's uncomfortable, but once you get past taking that first step, you're embraced with open arms and brought in to be an active participant in the growth of the committee, the association, or the industry.
Well, you hit the nail on the head when you said come to the meetings but not participating and then you're gone. It's like going to a party and not dancing.
Right.
You're at the party. It was cool, but I mean, I don't know if I would go back. I didn't really have a great time. But if you go to a party and you dance all night and your hair is soaking wet when you leave out of there and you're laughing, you're like, oh my God, I can't wait to come back the next weekend. So you're right. To my people out there, because I hear the question a lot and I hear a lot of people say it, especially now that I am a supplier partner. So I'm visiting sites more regularly. It's like, Ty, I do want to be involved in the association, but I don't know how to start. So that's great advice to our people, that when you do come in the room, if you have something to say it. Get in there, participate, let your voice be heard. The only way that you can be heard is to say something, first and foremost. And that I love that you touched on, as far as the leaders go in the room, invite people to dance. If you see somebody at the party and you see them just sitting on the wall and sitting in there, sometimes it's not that they don't have a thought. They just don't know that they have the, I guess, the privilege or the authority to be able to speak up sometimes when you're new. And it's like, I'm just in here spectating. Let me be quiet. But it's like, no, speak up and say something.
Yeah, and I think even to take it to the next level is if you're new to a committee or whatnot, take the opportunity before or after a committee meeting to talk to the chair, to talk to the vice chair, introduce yourself, let them know that you're new, that you're interested, you want to contribute. Can you help me? Can you introduce me to people that can be mentors for me or can help me contribute more? Again, it's that. You're using the party analysis, right? You walk into a party, you don't know many people, you wind up standing on the wall. But if you engage in a conversation with somebody and that person can help you get introduced to other folks and can help you get out on the dance floor, let's go. It's worth that little bit of uncomfort to get on the dance floor.
Well, and it happens just like that, because I'm sitting here thinking about, like, how did I meet you or at what conference? And honestly, I have no idea. It seems like it's just been that. I mean, if you remember, tell me, because it seems like it's just been that long. I don't know. And that I just know you.
I agree. I can't put my thumb on when we first met, but I mean, it feels like forever ago. It feels like we've been friends forever. And I cherish that. And that's another great point. Another great byproduct is I have built lifelong friendships, relationships with people in this industry, whether it be coworkers, clients, industry folks. I know about their families. I've experienced highs and lows with them. And that's another piece of this that is really, really valuable to me and holds a very close place in my heart, is the relationships that I've been able to build and to foster over the years.
Some of the stories that I've heard in this industry, from sitting in the hotel lobby and you're just talking to people as these conferences go on, and I've been fortunate enough to be blessed to be in a family situation with people from our industry too. Some of my closest friends, I name drop them all the time: Ashia, Dana, Monica, Crystal, Marcy, Monique, Christine. Like, these are people, like, that's my crew.
They're amazing.
We have really built, and these are people you would think that I grew up with them, but I met them at Apartmentalize.
But it's that common vision, right? It's that common goal, that shared desire to make this better and to bring more people forward and include everybody and hear all the different perspectives and just make it a better place for everyone to live and to operate.
I'm glad you brought up the word include. I think that is a word that, when you throw out words about Jay Lopeman, inclusion is a word that I see super big in front of me. You're just always that person that is so welcoming in the room. If you don't know anybody in the room, if there's nobody you sit by, as long as I'm not in there, sit by Jay. Like, if you need a picture to prove to your company that you were there, because we all know if it didn't go on social media, it did not happen.
Right.
Like, talk to Jay. He will take a photo with you. Like, I know he will. All my girls got photos with him. So he will take those photos. But you are, when I think about inclusion, I see you in that. So thank you for what you do, because, I don't know if you know that when you come into that space, sometimes that space can be scary. It can be intimidating when you're not used to doing things on a national level, or when you come into a room and not that many people look like you and sound like you, and you take a person like you and you're just like, come on, let's be friends. And it's so genuine, and it's every single time. There's people in this industry, if I change my hair, I have to reintroduce myself every single time. Hey, it's me. It's Ty. It's me. But I've seen you probably with all 50 of my hairstyles.
Sure.
And
they all look great, by the way. They all look great. Just know that.
But every time I get the same welcoming energy from you that says, I'm a friend, I'm a familiar face, this is a safe space here. And I think when it comes to the Lifetime Achievement Award and it comes to honoring people in this industry, you're a person that everybody can rally behind and get behind that achievement. So that's huge.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. That means a lot because I do try intentionally to be that way. And I it's a tip of the hat to my mom because she was the one that guided me that way. God rest her soul. But I also felt at an early age, like many people have, that feeling of not being comfortable in the space or not feeling like I belong there, or not feeling like I'm worthy of being there, or not feeling comfortable because you're in a room of all these people that have relationships or are friends or know each other and you don't. And I never liked that feeling for myself. So I'm very intentional when I see that or when somebody shares that with me of trying to get that feeling to go away by including them, by asking them questions, by introducing them to people, by being very intentional about that because I didn't like that feeling and I don't want anybody else to feel that. So my inclusive nature is a byproduct of how I was raised, how the experiences that I have, and the results I can see when you knock down those barriers for people.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. So it is a personal mission of mine.
Well, you know what? Now that you said personal, let's go a little bit deeper because we do know you as Jay Lopeman as
Yeah.
the 2025 Lifetime Achievement Award honoree. But who is Jay?
So I had shared that, about my mom. I am an only child raised by a single mother. She was my best friend, somebody that I looked up to, worshiped. And I am, being that I was an only child, I feel like my friends are my relatives. So I hold all of my friendships in super high regard. Um, I'm also a family man. My wife, Megan, my son, James, my daughter, Jordan, they're my everything. Anytime that I'm not working, I'm focused on them. And to their credit, it's baseball, softball, basketball, football, everything. Our weekends are packed. And I would not change it. As a matter of fact, here in San Diego, it rained this last weekend and all the sports were canceled. We didn't know what to do with ourselves. We sat around staring at each other like, I don't know, what do you want to do? I don't know, what do you want to do? Because usually we're out at tournaments or games or this or birthday parties or whatever. But I would say, that is really it. Is they're the center of my universe when I'm not focused on work or the industry or making myself better. That's my passion. That is very much my passion.
I love that. And you know what? It wasn't until recently I think I even realized that you lived in California because I just see you all over the place. Like you're a national. You really are a national person. Even when I saw you at FAA, it's like I saw the back of your head. I was like, I know that head. Is that Jay Lopeman over there? What is he doing in Florida? Like,
well, the joke is that I own a home in San Diego, but I live out of suitcases in various hotels across the country. So yeah, you probably see me in various places. But that's the beauty, right? That's allowed me to build these relationships across the country. That's afforded me opportunities to lead the National Supplier Council, to be engaged that way, to lead my local affiliate. And I mentioned this during my speech for the Lifetime Achievement Award last week, is I would not be able to do any of this. I would not be sitting here with you talking about it if it wasn't for the foundation and the love that they give me and created for me to do these things that I love to do.
yes, definitely. The families that we have in this industry, the employers that we have that support our journey is unmatched because I don't know. I think it was at FAA. I was talking to some of the ladies, and divorce is really at an all-time high right now. There's a lot of people getting a divorce, and we were talking about the people in our industry, and I think it was somebody just thanking their spouse. Maybe it was Russ Webb when he won his Lifetime Achievement Award, and Kimberly Maggard thanking her husband about just taking this crazy ride with him. of having to travel all the time, or when you're on site, bringing it home with you, because there's no property manager that I know spouse does not have to hear about what's going on site all the time.
Not only property manager, but supplier partner as well. Trust me.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Well, because when you're in this industry, you live it.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
And I will also say another just kind of side story. You're talking about family and whatnot. I remember when Apartmentalize was here in San Diego a couple of years ago. I got the opportunity to bring my wife and kids down to the convention center so they could see the trade show and all the crazy, the exposition, all the craziness. By the way, I still have bags of like pens and notepads and stuffed animals in the garage that the kids got. But which is why I'm not allowed to bring any of that stuff home anymore. But I remember a comment. I really wish I could remember who said it, but I was walking my wife and kids around. I was introducing them to everybody, and I introduced my wife to someone. And they said, "Oh, hi, nice to meet you." And they looked at her and they said, "Thank you so much for sharing him with us." And I was like, wow, that was very nice, very impactful too, because it resonated with me that, they also have to sacrifice in me out here doing this stuff. But again, that support has afforded me the opportunity to sit here with you today.
Yep. It definitely, when you are married to a servant leader and a person that is doing their purpose, that's why when a man finds a wife, he finds a wonderful thing. My husband hit the jackpot. Won't he do it? Yes, he did. Hey. So, but you have to be equally yoked with the person that you're with. And it's because of that. When you're with a servant leader and people like us who have to travel, we have to touch people. There's a purpose to why we're doing what we're doing. You have to have somebody that understands that and is willing to hold the home front down.
That's right.
And I'm blessed to be in the same type of situation. And it allows me to be right here talking to you right now, going to Assembly of Delegates and Apartmentalize and doing all the things that we do. So what was her take back on it when she saw all those people and just the magnitude of what our industry really does?
I can't believe you do this. I could never do this. Thank you for that. Yeah. And my kids, of course, where it was like, Halloween, right? They're trick-or-treating, getting all the stuff at all the different booths. So it was a great experience for them to be able to see that part of it. But I also had to coach them that that's one piece of everything we do, right? There's a lot of work that goes into it behind the scenes. There's a whole nother aspect of it, which is the committees and the task force and the work we do behind the scenes there. But, for them from that aspect, it was pretty eye-opening.
You're right. There's a lot of work that goes on coming from being an association executive and just being on a small scale of an association planning events. There's a lot of work that goes into it. And before we move on to a little bit of more family life, one of the things I wanted to go back to that I heard you say is we were talking about volunteerism. People who how much time would you say? Because I want to drop nuggets that's real information for the listeners. Would you say if you're going to sign up to volunteer, you have to be prepared to?
Well, it's tough for me to answer that because I am the Kool-Aid drinking poster boy for association involvement. I have trouble saying no to AEs. I have trouble saying no to association presidents or anybody else that asks me to get involved. So a little bit unfair for me to answer. I would say it's a balance between, again, going back to what I said earlier, if you're going to be a part of this, you have to commit. Yeah. So it's a balance between what your company, your organization will support you with, and how much time you can dedicate away from your day job. Because, for instance, somebody in sales, if you're going to go to an association meeting and be in a committee for an hour, that's 1 hour less of a day that you are dedicating to your pay job, right? So it's a balance. But I would also advocate that by putting in the time, you're building the relationships with owners, operators, other supplier partners in that room that you're having those committee meetings with. So I always say that people buy from who they know, they like, and they trust. Well, first they got to get to know you, right? And then after you're there for a while and you're contributing, they begin to like you, and that will build the trust over time. They always say a committee is just an hour a month. It's just an hour a month. I would say it's a little more than that. But if you can manage your schedule and dedicate that time and be there, be active, be present, be consistent in a committee meeting setting, the benefits, the upside to that commitment or that dedication of time will by far outweigh any of the time that you may not be putting into your quote unquote day job. Again, it's a balance.
Yes.
It's what your workload and what you can juggle from a time perspective. But it is worthwhile. It is beneficial. I am, proof of it right here that dedicating that time does help you grow in your career, in your relationships, and your opportunity to be leader within the organization and within the industry.
I love that. I feel the exact same way about serving on committees or serving in leadership roles throughout the association. I mean, the first time I really got involved in the association was in Memphis when I worked for Apartment Finder. And going into that room, I was from Little Rock, Arkansas. I didn't know a soul. And I still remember to this day, Connie Wakeman walking up to me and saying, "Hey, you're the new Finder girl. Come over here with us." Yep. And it started from there. But I tell everybody, I grew my business on the back of the association. So volunteering, and that's just one of the nuggets I want to make sure that we drop, especially for our supplier partners. You can be out here trying to sell, but sometimes just volunteering will put you in the right room with the right person. And the thing I love about it is it puts you in a setting where you don't have to sell.
Right.
Yeah. If you're in a room with the president of a company and you're on a committee serving with them, you said something a few minutes ago about people buy from who they know and trust. It allows you the opportunity to let somebody get to know you. So let's touch on that from you being a supplier and making it through working for different companies. What would you say to brand new supplier partners who are starting out here as far as this being a relationship driven type of job?
It is 100%, if not 1,000,000%, a relationship driven business. And before I go down that path, you had made a comment about committees and being involved, and you're not selling in committees. I would urge any supplier partner out there, if you get on a committee or if you already are on a committee, when you walk through that door, you take off your sales hat, you take off your company hat, and you put on your association hat. And it's not about trying to advance your product or service during that. You're there to do the work of the industry, whatever committee it is, because that is super important, because I've seen the other side of it, where supplier partners come in and they think, "Oh, I'm on this committee. I'm going to go sell to X, Y, and Z during the committee meeting, or I'm going to talk about my company during that committee meeting." That's not the place. Trust me, it's not the place. But to your point, when you build those relationships, when you're there, when you're doing the heavy lifting for the association and for the membership, those opportunities will come. So I thought it was really important just to share that, because I've seen it happen and I've seen the negative impacts of that.
Well, no, I love that you touched on that, because I'm going to be honest with you. Coming back into this space on the supplier role, I have been coming into NAA.
Uh-oh. We froze. Is that me, Ty, or is that you?
All right. Can you hear
me? Was that me or you?
I don't know, but
I'm gonna say it was me.
This conversation was about to get good.
I'm gonna say it was me.
So, but back on what I was saying, I like that you said that, because coming off the AE side, I have been on that side for 6 years. So coming into the national space was different for me. It's everybody just wants to be friends with the AE. You're not really selling anything. You're pushing the agenda of the National Apartment Association, and you're also advocating for your members. So it's different. The first time I came into the national space working for Affinity Waste Solutions was at Advocate.
Okay.
And honestly, I was lost in the room. And I told Ashia when we got back home, I was like, oh my God, I just felt like I was introducing myself as Ty Jackson, who works for Affinity Waste Solutions. And I felt just like that, like I was pushing the agenda of the company. I didn't know how to take off my sales hat and put on my association hat. So
Yeah.
I think that's a nugget, like really, we're saying that again, my new suppliers, let's, for the people in the back,
That's right.
and we're giving grace because I did it too.
Sure.
And you're right,
Yeah.
it doesn't go over well. And it's like, Ty, you sounded like you were pushing your own agenda, and that this is not what that's about. Now, luckily, nobody from NAA had to pull me to the side and have that conversation. However,
Yeah.
it would have been one, I'm sure, had it continued on, but I felt out of place because that's not the reason that I'm there to sell trash. When people know me and they know what I do, the product is there. And like you said, you grow the relationship, they trust you. I got something that you need. I'm going to shop with Ty.
That's right.
Other than that, let's do the committee work in this space. So no, I love that you pointed that out.
Good. Very good.
Yep, I think people definitely need to hear that. So before even working as a supplier, working in multifamily, you said this is something that stumbled and you were blessed into it. What did young Jay have aspirations of doing? Let's go back.
Oh, gee. Well, it's the typical, I wanted to be a Major League Baseball player. I wanted to be an astronaut. I wanted to be all those things. And unfortunately, that wasn't the path for me. But luckily, I found the path that has been very good to me. I was very, athletic as a kid. Again, it goes back to, like I said, being an only child. My friends were everything to me, and it's funny reflecting back now. My close friends, my really close friends, are people that I went to kindergarten with, people that I went to first grade with. We still talk. I mean, it's constant. We're still communicating with each other. So I had a very unique opportunity with the friends that I had from a very early age that are still near and dear to me today, and we still stay in contact, weekly, if not multiple times a week. So I was very lucky that way. Very lucky that way. Lots of people that I talk to don't have that same experience. Some people, don't communicate or associate with people they went to elementary school or junior high school with. It's pretty special to me. I'm very, very lucky that I have that.
To have somebody that knows you, and I'm lucky in that aspect also. One of my closest friends has been my girlfriend since 7th grade. And we're able to, I feel like no matter how big I get, and I say that in the most humble way possible because I know that greatness is destined for me. Like this is just the tip of the iceberg. Like, I don't know. One day you're going to be like, I podcasted with her. Like, I know her. That is Ty. Like, that's my friend.
Yeah.
But those people are in our life to keep us grounded too. When God knows how amazing we're going to be, it's somebody that still knows Jay from kindergarten. So it's like, I don't care how LeBron James you get. Like, you are still Jay. And you need people like that.
Without a doubt.
The more life grows for you.
Yeah. And, when the notification came out about this award and, that went on social media and whatnot, obviously everybody was very complimentary. Congrats, so well deserved, blah blah. But it was my handful of friends that were like, "Oh, look at you! Oh, yeah. Special!" So they knock you right back down because they've known you your whole life. So I was very appreciative of that reality check from my friends.
Yes, and you need that because if not, and not having people there who were before everything happened, people who saw you before the struggle, before you were the person that you are today, you need those people too when it's time to reflect. Because Ashia reminds me all the time, you never stop and celebrate your wins, Ty. You just keep going. And it's like, because I do feel like there's so much more out there for me. To me, it don't even really be a win. It just be like, oh, check. I got to get to the win for me. No matter what stage I stand on yet, it just hasn't been big enough yet for me to stop and be like, oh, I did a keynote in front of that many people, or this and this happened. So she's my friend that really reminds me, and you do need friends in those moments to say, hey, stop and have a glass of wine and celebrate that Lifetime Achievement Award. Like, do something.
Yeah, and that's tough for me because I'm similar to you in that way. Like, oh, okay, great, and thanks for the spotlight. Although I'm not super comfortable in it, but what's next? What's the next rung on the ladder that I'm going after? And you're talking about friends, you're talking about relationships in this industry, and how it's very much a relationship-driven business. When I teach stuff like supplier success, I ask the group, think about your best friend or your close friends. Did you walk up to them one day and say, Ty, we're going to be best friends, and then all of a sudden you were best friends? No, that came from growing up together or working together or experiencing highs and lows together and all of that. I believe this industry is very similar in that regard, right? The more that you're interacting with people, pulling on the same side of the rope for committee involvement or your business or just personal relationships within the industry, that's how we've continued to grow. And that's where those relationships afford you the opportunity to be on a committee, or maybe it is to introduce your product or service to somebody, or maybe it is just to get together and break bread and have a great time and tell stories and be together. All of those things are very important, but it does come back to the fact that this is very much a relationship driven business. And another tidbit for the suppliers out there, it is a marathon, not a sprint, right? You have to be there. You have to be consistent. Similar to committee work, people see you. People see you at the events. People see you contributing. People see how you behave, how you hold yourself. All of those things are critical. Not that you need to be in the spotlight or on stage all the time, but that's how being there, being present, being involved is going to afford you the opportunities to build lasting relationships like we have.
No, definitely. And authenticity is key. So when you say people are looking, I'm like you. It's not that you have to be perfect all the time, but it's you have to be consistent all the time. They're looking to see, is that how Ty always shows up? Is she always that friendly? Is she putting, like, people are wanting to see. And after so many times, it's like, okay, that is her. That is Jay. That is him every time. He is super nice. He is super friendly. He wasn't just trying to sell me in that moment, because nobody wants to be sold to. Yeah. So I definitely agree with that. One of the things I always tell suppliers when I'm doing a supplier class is when you, in suppliers, I'm leaning in again, because when I lean in, I really want you to be taking some notes and jotting some stuff down. When you go to that event, and usually y'all do it when it's local events, leave everything in the car. The flyers, the chassis, leave it in the car. Have genuine conversations with people, and then pitch the product when you get the appointment. But have conversations with people. I mean, it has always just worked for me. And even here in Florida, you would think I have been here for a year already, and it's only been, well, it's been 10 months now. That's been a while. So, but it seems like at FAA, I felt like these were my friends. I'm like, I just feel like I know everybody, but it's just because of showing up, being consistent, and not pitching my product, but really being intentional about getting to know somebody and what really makes them tick.
Well, and let's also be honest, that's because of who you are and your personality and how outgoing you are. Yes. Let's all take a pause and let's focus the attention on Ty. No, I mean that. I mean that wholeheartedly, right? I mean, it's because of who you are, right? And there's lots of people in the industry. It's because of who they are that you can connect with people. You can connect with people on a meaningful level outside of a product or service, or shoot, even outside of an industry type thing. It's your personality, the personality of tons of people I can think about in the industry that bring that warm and welcoming sense to anybody else, and they think, I want to be a part of that. I'm willing to put myself out there because I want to be a part of something like that. And so I think it's really full circle. But yes, as a tip of the cap to you, it's your personality.
Well, you know what? And honestly, Jay, I think I'm a lot like you. I'm not an only child, but I'm a middle child. Okay. So I suffer from the middle child syndrome, and me and my older sister are 15 months apart. So my mom had just had a baby. I mean, shout out to you, mama. Today's her birthday too. Happy birthday,
Oh,
hot
no, happy
girl.
birthday. Yes.
So, but she still had her first child, so she wasn't over the oohs and ahs. And so the second child is almost like an only child when you're born that close. And I know how it feels to walk into a room and not feel like you're part of the party. So I'm super welcoming. I've been a part of this industry for so long. Did I lose you, Jay? So it really was Jay's internet and not mine because I've lost him. So hopefully we get him back on because we only have 15 more minutes to go and we are at the top of the hour on our conversation with Jay. So hopefully though, if you're listening out there, I hope that Jay and I have said something. Really, Jay has said something that inspires you because to be a Lifetime Achievement Award recipient, that is not your everyday excellence awards. Like that is an amazing honor. And it shows all that you have done because I'm going to be honest with you, from serving on committees, from serving on task force to also having a job, it's not easy. It is not easy to stay committed. And from even being an association executive, we all start in the beginning of the career. Jay is back. I was
That,
just sitting here.
that was on me. That was the system saying you've got to put in your password again. So that was on me. I take full responsibility. I apologize.
Oh, don't worry. I already told the listeners that was on you. I already told everybody that was on you. So
Okay,
we're almost to the top of the hour. So a few more personal things about you.
please.
What does Jay do to, we know what Jay does to work, we know what Jay does to volunteer. What does Jay do to unwind? Like if you just want to chill, what does that look like for Jay?
Well, it's definitely family centered, right? I'm definitely, I got no choice. I'm with my family. I love every minute of it. We are, I joked about sports. We are a sports family. So living here in San Diego, we are diehard Padres fans. So
Okay.
we'll watch the Padres. Fun fact: my then 8-year-old daughter, now 9-year-old daughter, could name every single player on the Padres as well as their pitching rotation and their coaching staff. That's how dedicated she was to that. We are very lucky that we live in a neighborhood that we have amazing neighbors. So we do Sunday Fun Day with our neighbors, where we alternate back and forth. Whoever is cooking for the other family, we kind of go back and forth. That's a whole lot of fun.
So if
Um,
I'm ever in San Diego on a
hey,
Sunday,
come on
okay.
by. Come on by.
Sunday,
Um,
Sunday.
and we do a lot of we love to eat, but we also love to cook as a family. So everybody will be in the kitchen, and we'll come up with a meal, and everybody will have their part. And so we like to sit around and break bread together as a family. It's a lot of fun.
So besides do you have a son also, or
I
just
do.
a
Yeah,
son
son
and a
and a
daughter? How old
daughter.
is your son?
13. Every bit of 13.
Well, you know what? I understand the 9-year-old, but I have a boy. I have an 8-year-old boy.
Okay.
So I don't know if it happens on the West Coast, but he walks around saying 6, 7 all the time.
Oh God, stop.
Six,
Stop, stop,
7. So,
stop. It's constant. It is really constant. It is. Anytime that comes up, it's yeah. And hopefully that's a fad that will go away relatively quickly.
I'm hoping so too. He talks about it all the time. He's into sports. He really has a huge personality. We're in the third grade right now, so I definitely understand what life looks like for you.
It's it is the most wonderfully frustrating job I've ever had, and I love every minute of it. Especially, even the times where you're gritting your teeth and you're frustrated, but it is the most wonderfully frustrating and rewarding job that I've ever had.
So, are you from San Diego?
I grew up in Seattle, so I spent the majority of my time in San Diego. And when I graduated from college, um, my mom looked at me and said, "You know, you got to get a job, right?" And I said, what are you talking about? I thought all I had to do was get through college, and then it was, sunshine and rainbows. And I said, no, you got to get a job. And I happened to have a couple of friends that went to the University of San Diego, and were coming back to San Diego one was going to play rugby, the other was just moving back down to live there. And I said, you know what? I'm going to go down and live the beach life for a couple of months, and then I'll come back and start a real job in a real life. And some 20 something years later, I'm still here and have roots planted and love every bit about it. It's a wonderful part of the country, as I'm sure everybody knows. And for what my family does and what we do, being out and about and at the beach or sports, it's perfect for us.
That's how I feel about Orlando. When people ask me, how do y'all like it? I'm like, it's the weather. And I think because the weather is so good, it makes the people nicer.
But that humidity, I don't know about that humidity.
I come from Arkansas, so
that's fair. Okay. It messes up my hair, the humidity. I can't take it.
Well, good thing I can change mine all the time.
So
in this 50 minutes, because it's been 50 minutes already.
Doesn't feel like it.
It does not.
No.
We've talked about Young Jay. We've talked about volunteerism. We talked about your Lifetime Achievement Award honoree, being a sports dad, being in California, Sunday Fun Day. You've even dropped some nuggets for our supplier partners that are out there and for just our people that are on the owner operating side and supplier side that are wanting to be involved locally and nationally. Before we end this podcast today, Jay, is there anything else that you want to say to our friends that are out there listening to us?
I appreciate that. I mean, I think we touched on a lot. I think we touched on a lot that is very important to me, which is getting involved, taking that first step, putting yourself out there. This is an amazing industry with amazing opportunities. So I encourage anybody to take that first step. And I also encourage anybody to find that mentor. Ask the question. People are willing to be mentors if asked. A lot of times people don't go seek people out to say, hey, I can mentor you. I'm happy to mentor you if you need help. But ask that question. There's a lot of people in this industry that would be willing to take some time to do that. And I am preaching that from the mountaintops. And I am happy to any of the listeners out there, to any of the people watching this, if I can help in any way, shape, or form, please let me know. It is something that's very rewarding to me to help see other people succeed. So do everything you can to step out of that comfort zone, to learn, to grow, to meet people, and to build those relationships. You will find value and the rewards of doing it. I'm confident, just like I have.
I love that. I love this for you, Jay, for the Lifetime Achievement Award honoree. You definitely exude everything that a Lifetime Achievement Award recipient would, just for knowing you for the few years that I have. And like I said, we're doing the research and just looking back over your journey in the multifamily industry and just seeing Young Jay early on pictures with Betsy Kirkpatrick and, just so many people that are still out there now. And I looked at the different stuff and I'm like, dang, Jay really has been around, just for a long time and unseen. And it seems glamorous when we see the photos on social media of the serving and we all take pictures of our name placard. But I think people don't really realize the sacrifice and the amount of work outside of our day-to-day jobs that it requires to keep the associations going. So, thank you for leading the way and just for inviting people like me in the room and making me feel safe in that space just to show up authentic and be myself every single time. So if people want you to, because I heard you mention that when you teach supplier classes, is this only for your association or are other associations able to book you too?
No, I'm happy to help wherever I can. The majority of stuff has been local just because of my connections here. Love teaching supplier success because it really helps people get the fundamentals they need to be successful as a supplier entering this industry. Happy to help, kind of however I can. But I've got to tell you, I jokingly said this to you earlier. it's been like Christmas morning here. I mean, I couldn't sleep last night getting ready for this. I was so excited. I was like, you know what? Season 3, episode 6 is going to be amazing. I just hope I don't mess it up. And I feel that after 54 minutes and 37 seconds, with the exception of a few technical difficulties, I've managed to do that. But in all seriousness, Ty, thank you so much for including me in this. Thank you so much for doing this and for bringing the message out to people that are out there. This work matters. All the work that we do matters. So hand on heart, I appreciate you. I appreciate what you're doing, and I appreciate you including me in this.
Yes, thank you so much for making my stock go up just a little bit more than it already has. Really for coming on today and for sharing your story with us and for the work that you continue to do throughout the industry. I look forward to partnering again after this conversation today. I can definitely see us on stage together.
Let's do it.
I am creating a panel, hopefully to submit for FAA. I can see you on there as my supplier person. So I will definitely follow up with you. To my associations out there, sometimes it's hard to find amazing people to bring in for your suppliers. As a supplier partner who is new back on the supplier side, people like Jay bring forth value. And I know that you guys are always looking for value when it comes to your partnerships. So Jay Lopeman would be an amazing person to bring in for your suppliers to have the conversation and to drop the knowledge that he dropped today. Make sure that you guys tune in on December the 16th, because I changed the date. December the 16th, Matt Locke, CEO of Bright Step, which is Affinity Waste Solutions in Greenway. I'm going to need you. He's the leader of the company that I work for, and he's decided to have an unscripted conversation with me. Everybody have a great day out there. Happy Tuesday. And Jay, happy Thanksgiving to you.
Hey, right back at you. I'm thankful for you, and I appreciate being here.
I am thankful for our friendship also. I look forward to seeing you in March. It can't get here fast enough. We will get our photo and exchange our pleasantries as always.
I look forward to it. Can't wait.
All right. Have an amazing day, Jay. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody.
Bye. Bye-bye.